Oh, I gotta make these moves, make money, I'm finna do. Oh, I gotta make these moves, make money, I'm finna do. Oh, I gotta make these moves, make money, I'm finna do. Oh, I gotta make these moves, make money, I'm finna do.
Sky, for living life's sake, I make moves with the intent in mind state. I can't lose. The game we play is high stakes. Ain't afraid to spray tools. Stack the box, all you want. I'm still finna get loose. You know the true blood, we running shit. Cutting this swift, putting these kicks. Finna bubble this to something legit. Life's a trip. We was in the streets, local celebrities. Now we got them paying hidden fees in local dispensaries. Finna take it across the 7 seas, global the industry. If I ain't a mogul yet, blood, you know that I'm finna be. I done rewrote history out of East San Josie. It only gets better, yeah, you know that's bogey. I've been moved metro tons, I'm talking hella weight. Next move, clean the loot and cop real estate. We in this bitch, we in it thick, you know my thesis. The grit don't quit, diaries of a kingpin. We on the move.
Oh, I gotta make these moves, make money, I'm finna do. Oh, I gotta make these moves, make money, I'm finna do. Oh, I gotta make these moves, make money, I'm finna do. Oh, I gotta make these moves, make money, I'm finna do.
Shit is sick, boy. Make it dope, son.
I said we came a long way from putting money in the mattress. The earth is my turf, tilt the world on its axis. Trifecta exclusive, we deny your access. Can't deny the movement, we all across the atlas. Doing numbers, blood, fuck what you average. Top gun, you call me Maverick. Wild card, you call me Gambit. Bogart, Scot-free, certified savage. From the Bay out to NOLA, we push buttons like controllers. I'm from the Yay, I push Yola. Stay with a pistola.
Light work, night work. Looking at La Mama in a tight skirt. Got the whole club feeling while she twerk is going down in the town while she jiggy jerk. From 504 to 408. You know this about to be a fucking power play. But for now, I'ma dip while I sip and you trip on that beat. That's not a banger from my bed.
Sicker than your average, quicker than the last kid, slicker than a savage. Hit him for the package, committed to this action like amber shit on a mattress. Put it down and spread it out with no theatrics. Every day's a test, not a quiz, we at this. No multiple choice, the vocals moist, tight, crisp. We all on the front lines, these hitters don't miss. The only list we on is the one for stacking hits. Life is beautiful, but she's a scandalous bitch. She'll buy her a Birkin cause she's looking for a clip. So treat her right like Chubb Rock cause these bullets slop quick. Mopping up a mess that's still wet, don't slip.
Light work, night work. Looking at La Mama in a tight skirt. Got the whole club feeling while she twerk is going down in the town while she jiggy jerk. From 504 to 408. You know this about to be a fucking power play. But for now, I'ma dip while I sip and you trip on that beat. That's not a banger from my bed.
Trifecta is an army nigga, a navy nigga. So if you ever try to harm me, nigga, it ain't gravy, nigga. I know a lot of criminals and drug dealers. I love niggas. We be coming from the same place. Down south, Midwest, East Coast, West Coast. Cats who do the most with the least. Can't have no justice, can't have no peace. Brothers and sisters marching down these streets across the globe. I started in the bucket, now I'm in a Rolls Royce, double R. A brother spitting bars, straight lace like caviar. On the voyage, same bon voyage. Trifecta go hard.
Light work, night work. Looking at La Mama in a tight skirt. Got the whole club feeling while she twerk is going down in the town while she jiggy jerk. From 504 to 408. You know this about to be a fucking power play. But for now, I'ma dip while I sip and you trip on that beat. That's not a banger from my bed.
Hope you're ready for the next episode. Hey, smoke weed every day.
Woo!
Yes, sir. What up? What up? 420 crew, Guru Nation, stand up. What it do, y'all? Guru Nation Power Hour live here. I'm your host, Spencer the Guru. Hope everyone doing great out there, ready to take a drink, smoke a blunt, whatever, smoke a dab, take a dab, whatever y'all do, do it. Let's get lit, y'all. It's a good time tonight. Saints Bucks tonight. Gonna preview my New Orleans Saints at the Tampa Bay Bucks. Got my beer in hand, ready to go. So let's get right to it, y'all. Guru Nation Power Hour. Let's start it off by shouting out the chat, because I know we got a lot of big hitters up in here. Let's shout out our new member first, Darren. What up, Darren? Appreciate you being a part of the 420 crew. Let's welcome Darren in, and we've got our usuals pulling up here. Sir Bongs a lot. Hit that bong. Yes, sir. And yes, sir, welcoming Darren to the crew. Stale Pork Chop in the building. What it do? Chase, what's up, man? Guru Nation, stand up. Most definitely, 100%. Make these moves. You already know it, bro. And Antonio in the building. What up, Guru Nation? Yes, sir. Yeah, that Bogard music slaps, bro. Had to have Bogard music on there. For the intro, shout out, of course, to Bogard Scott Free. And shout out to, of course, Huss himself for giving us this platform. I know we got a lot of giveaways coming up, those Christmas giveaways. Y'all already know the drill. If y'all want extra entries, drop a super chat, and we'll get y'all signed in for even more entries in the into this month's giveaways. Huss, if you're out there, let the people know what we got going as far as all that. Probably some jerseys, rookie cards, all that jazz. And yeah, the Saints D always gets Brady. Pause. Yeah, yeah, I think they will again tonight. And we'll get into that preview here in just a bit. Marty in the building. Yo, what up, Marty? Phillip says, what's up? Cap for life in the building. What's good? What up, Cap? Dolphin fan. It looks like he's got the Dolphin background. And he's got a flex spot open. I'm thinking Tampa Bay Bucks running backs. I got both of them. Which one do you play? I'd probably play Lenny, bro. Lenny should get most of the early down work. And the Saints run defense isn't what it once was. So I'd probably lean Lenny, although it should be pretty close because Rashad White's going to get the receiving work most likely. But I'd still go Lenny. And Albert, shout out to Albert for always pulling up. And, oh, here it is. Okay, Hill signed jersey from the Chiefs. Okay, so Tyreek Hill signed jersey, but with KC, Jerome Baker Bong. Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah, Christian Watson jersey. And, yeah, I think there might be one more. So, yeah, y'all drop in those super chats if y'all want to get in on all those goodies. And Philip has a question. Any news on Werner? I have to decide on Ellis or Werner. That's a good question, Philip, because as of now, Pete Werner, his status is still uncertain. It's a game-time decision. And Marshawn Lattimore has been ruled out, but Pete Werner, it's still uncertain. We'll have to wait for the final injury report, which should come out in a few minutes here, an hour before kickoff. So as soon as that news comes out, Philip, we'll break it here live on the Guru Nation Power Hour. So let's get into these. Let's get into it, man. The meat and potatoes tonight, man. Saints at Bucks tonight. Going down tonight. ESPN Monday Night Football. Y'all know the drill. And then Huss and Bogey will be live after my show to commentate it. And Cap for Life already claiming the Jerome Baker ball. Yeah, if you want more entries, bro, drop a super chat. Gets even a better chance to snag that thing. But let's see. Yeah, Saints here. +3, the betting line has the Saints as 3-point underdogs against the Tampa Bay Bucks, or as I like to call them, the Tampa Bay Yucks, because, man, I can't stand their asses. But, and then, yeah, we'll have it. And, oh, Albert just got the news. It looks like Pete Werner out. Oh, damn. Well, I guess that answers the question then. If Werner is indeed out, obviously got to go with Caden Ellis. And, oh, yeah, here it is. Here it is. Just dropped. Saints inactives. Marshawn Lattimore, we knew that. But Pete Werner, that's a new one. Pete Werner. And then Jawan Johnson, we knew that. P.J. Williams, J.T. Gray, and Peyton Turner. So we knew about all the other ones. Pete Werner was really the only game-time decision. But that answers the question there. He is out. So no Pete Werner. IDP life, peeps. Once again, fire up Caden Ellis. Caden Ellis, the IDP king. I'm down, I think, 8 points in the 32-man league and have Caden Ellis left. So I should be good. And just asked the same question. He said go with Lenny. Let's see. Andrea has a question. Rashad White or Fournette? Yeah, I'd lean Fournette even in PPR because when healthy, Lenny's been the main back there. So I'd go with him. Tino, what up, Tino? What up? Let's see. And then let's see what this line. My thoughts on this line. To me, I'm not betting this. I'm not touching it because I don't really feel strongly either way. I think it'll be a close game, though. So if I had to pick it, I'd probably take the points. Yeah, I'd take the points with the Saints. But I'd probably stay away from it. You know, my black and gold glasses are telling me, oh, take the Saints money line. You know, it's tempting to just take the money line. But the more rational side of me saying to just take the points. Excuse me, because I think this could just be like a 1 or 2 point game. I think this will be a really close, ugly kind of game, which is why I prefer the under. Let's see, we got the money lines pulled up here. The over-under is 40.5. I know that's a low total, even for the NFL. You know, NFL total is usually lower than college, but 40.5 is pretty low. But I feel like that I'd still go with the under because I think both defenses are better than the offenses. Like Tampa Bay's offense this year has not been consistent. It has been a complete roller coaster. Like I feel like some weeks it looks pretty good and other weeks it doesn't. Honestly, it's looked more bad than good. Brady's only had 3 multi-touchdown performances, and they have the dead last rushing offense in the NFL. They suck against the run. They are horrendous. I mean, being able to run, they suck. Even against the run, they're not quite as strong. Same thing with the Saints. I mean, both of these teams are just a lot weaker than they normally are. And so you'd think, well, it'd be a changing of the guard, and the NFC South Falcons and Panthers would come up. Well, they're even more down bad as well. The entire division is a shit show, which is crazy to think. If the Saints win tonight, there'll only be a half game out of first place in this shitty NFC South. It's pretty crazy to think about, but that's the reality we're in right now. The 4-8 Saints are only, I think right now, 1.5 out, and if they win tonight, it'll only be a half game out, and I believe have the tiebreaker. Although they split, they'll have split because the Bucs beat them early in the season in week 2. But anyway, yeah, Marshawn Lattimore, I had GTD for Pete Werner. Let's fix that. They're both out. They are both out. Lattimore and Werner. Those were the really the close calls. And reality bites. LOL. Fantasy, give me money. You're not lying, Bogey. You are not lying, Bogey. Yeah, I mean, reality. That's what I'm thinking. Tonight's going to be a hard dose of reality. I don't see a whole lot of fruitful production for fantasy, but we shall see. It could change. Crispy, what up, Crispy? Thanks for pulling up, man. And Sir Bongs, what up? So yeah, it's gonna be interesting. I kind of hope I'm wrong, and this could open it up a little bit because those are the 2 of the Saints' big hitters on defense, Marshawn Lattimore and Pete Werner. The reason I don't think it's gonna really matter though is because they've both been out now for over a month. The Saints' defense is now adapted. They've learned how to play without them. So it'd be better if they were playing, but it's not like they just got ruled out after being in the lineup all year. They've been able to get the backups. I mean, like Caden Ellis is now a freaking stud back there. And Alontae Taylor, the rookie corners, gotten a lot of experience under his belt over the past month to where Lattimore's absence, like, who knows, Alontae Taylor might be the new Lattimore and give Mike Evans fits. Hopefully they don't end up fist fighting, but I know for y'all outsiders, you know, that don't care about the Saints and Bucs, love the scraps between Lattimore and Evans, which is kind of why I was hoping he'd play. I was thinking he'd play. I was thinking he'd be like, all right, bet. Mike Evans, come on, bitch, I'm playing. But apparently the injury Lattimore's got is pretty serious. They should have just put him on IR back then. He's been every week, a week-to-week thing. It's been like 6 weeks now, man. The Saints medical team take their money. They're getting paid the big bucks, I'm sure, but they don't do their fucking job. I could do a whole show ranting about that shit. I mean, between Michael Thomas, Jarvis Landry's injury was a big ordeal. Alvin Kamara's missed time this year. Jameis Winston's injury is a big mystery. I think that's the thing that I get really pissed get really pissed off about is the fact that they don't disclose the injuries, and it's always on some fuck shit, it seems like. It's always these weird kind of injuries. Like, it's never just like the normal, oh, he tore his ACL, he's out for the year. It's always, oh, he might come back. Oh, he's week to week. Oh, blah, 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 blah. It's like, what are these injuries? What is happening to these guys? And they don't disclose things like Lattimore. Oh, it's just an abdominal strain. It turns out he had like something with his kidney. I think had a kidney laceration or something a lot more serious than they let on, man. The Saints medical team, they're either really incompetent, one, or two, they just straight up lie. I think they just lie to the media half the time, because in the NFL, what President Belichick said all those years of just being able to kind of lie about the shit that, a lot of teams, they don't disclose injuries fully. And I feel like the Saints are one of those teams that and it's frustrating as a fan, and not even more frustrating as a media member, because you're trying to understand what the fuck's going on, why these guys aren't playing. And then, it was a really serious injury. Well, if you'd have disclosed that, it wouldn't be speculating. We wouldn't be asking these questions if y'all just disclosed that from the jump. But no, y'all have to be all secretive. I mean, it's like, bruh, I get it, not wanting to put all your cards on the table. You don't want to give the enemy any extra edge. But I mean, when someone's got a freaking kidney laceration, I mean, you gotta disclose that. I mean, come on, man. And that's at least a 2-month injury. So Lattimore, I might just be done. I mean, because he had that, I think, like early October. We're in December now, so he might be back soon. That's what people were thinking, that he'd be back this week. But nope. Saints team is stacked there, just missing a CJ Stroud. I mean, yeah, I can't totally agree or disagree. I wouldn't say they're stacked, but they've got a roster to where if you add a young QB, they'd definitely be on the upswing. The issue is they don't have a 2023 first-round pick, so they're definitely not getting a CJ Stroud. Maybe 2024 they could get a Caleb Williams, but the issue is, like, it's a team that's they've got veterans, so next year you're kind of hamstrung. I think, though, by 24 he might be able to kind of clean house and start over from there. But we'll have to see. I'm thinking that they'll stick it out, hope to win the NFC South this year. If they don't, well, then they'll have to kind of go back to the drawing board, to where I think they'll make a lot of personnel changes. But I think they keep Dennis Allen. I think Dennis Allen keeps his job through 2023. And then at that point, if they suck again, they'll have a high draft pick, and then they can start from scratch with a new quarterback. And I think next year it'll be another veteran. I was actually asked this question right before the show, talking to a buddy of mine. He asked me, what do you think the Saints are going to do at quarterback next year? And I told him probably the veteran route, because they don't have a 2023 first. And it's like, oh, yeah, Antonio, yeah, do you guys get take Zach Wilson? Yeah, you mentioned that last week. I mean, the Great White Hope, bro, the Great White Hope. Doing his thing for the Jets. I mean, almost let a comeback yesterday against Minnesota. And, Olave going to be a stud. Yeah. I mean, yeah, they've got pieces. This team's got pieces. Just going through it. I mean, quarterback obviously sucks. But you could bring in like a patchwork option like Jimmy, because after the broken foot, I don't think the Niners will be all gung-ho to bring Jimmy back, because it's not like he'll be able to lead them to the Super Bowl. He's done. It was like, oh, he led us to the Super Bowl, bring him back. So if they go to the Super Bowl, it won't be because of him. So Jimmy will be on the market. He's just the first one that comes to mind, because he's been linked to the Saints before. But let's just go down the rabbit hole. Let's just say it's Jimmy. Then you got the backfield. Kamara, I could take it or leave it. But even if he gets traded, which I kind of hope he does, you could bring in somebody pretty good or draft somebody. Running back's in a replaceable position. Wide receiver, though, you're kind of stuck with Michael Thomas. But in the off chance you could get a healthy Mike Thomas, you'd have him and Olave, a strong 1-2, and then you could either bring Jarvis back or some other veteran slot receiver. Then you got depth with Rashid Shaheed, the speedster, and a Marquez Callaway's okay depth. So your receiver position, you're not that bad off. And then tight end, Jawan Johnson, Adam Troutman. I believe they're both still under contract, so not too bad there. The O-line, Trevor Penning, the young left tackle, should be good to go next year. The rest of the line, not too bad. Andres Pete, Eric McCoy, Cesar Ruiz, and Ryan Ramczyk. The one I think might have to go to is Pete, but that's only one leg you'd have to replace, bring in a young guard to replace him potentially, and you've got a solid O-line. And the D-line, Cam Jordan should have another year or two in him. The D tackles are all right, Onyemata and Roach. And then the other D-end spot, hopefully Peyton Turner will be ready to start by next year. And then linebackers, you've got Ellis, Demario Davis, and Werner. And, I mean, hell, if Davis is too old or just making too much money, you can always just have Werner and Ellis. The linebackers are okay. And then the secondary, kind of a mess. That's a big mess because you got Honey Badger and Marcus May, not very good at safety. Then you Lattimore, cornerback, aging, been injured a lot. The others, probably Polson and Debo and Alante Taylor, the young corners are pretty good. So safety, though, man, safety. Saints suck at safety. And then trading C.J. Gardner-Johnson for a bag of chips definitely didn't help. So, yeah, I'd say safety. Outside of quarterback, safety is the Saints' biggest need, but we'll get to that in a few months when the offseason kicks off. But, yeah, as far as tonight, I like the under. Under 40.5 is my best bet for tonight. And then we got some prop values. Got a same game parlay going with the under, and then these two prop values, y'all. Tom Brady is – you always got to pay a tax if you want to take Tom Brady's over. And I'm definitely not doing that. So I'm going to go ahead and do the opposite, take the under. I know taking unders is normally not popular for player prop enthusiasts. Everyone likes to smash the over, but in this case, to me, the under has so much value because Tom Brady has only thrown for not even 250, just 250 only once against the Saints as a buck. And they've had 5 regular season matchups now. So there's enough data to show that Dennis Allen has the blueprint on how to stop Tom Brady. And I don't see that changing tonight. The Bucs have not shown me nearly enough to be like, man, they're going to really turn the corner tonight. They're going to just throw all over the Saints and be able to just turn up and just like make the Saints look bad. I don't see that happening. Maybe I'll be wrong, but I don't see it. I don't see Brady just doing his thing. I mean, he's 45 fucking years old, man, and he doesn't have the good witch Giselle on his side anymore. She's now if anything, she's casting spells against his ass. So, yeah, not betting on Brady. If I am betting on him, but the under. And then Adam Troutman, y'all. His prop's only at 23.5 receiving yards. That I feel like he's definitely going over because Jawan Johnson's out, and the Bucs suck against tight ends. He's going over. I know Troutman's been a big disappointment for those that took him in Dynasty, thinking he's going to blossom into a tight end one. But for those that just need him for this week, I think he's a good 1-week solution. Hell, he could even be, if you're those that need a Monday night miracle, throw in as a streamer, kind of like I did last week with Mo Alley Big Cox. Pause. For the Colts, needed a tight end, had an empty spot, and so picked him up off the waivers. Troutman could be similar to that. If somebody that, just get you a few points. And, 23.5 yards, that is not many. And, like I said, the Bucs defense sucks against tight ends. And, yeah, it's a deep dive, Tino. It's a deep dive. And, Joey pulled up. What up, bro? So, but yeah, let's speak of Joey. I know he's a betting enthusiast. Let's go over some of the betting lines from this weekend, and I'll have my Saints final score prediction in the closing minutes of this joint. Let's go over some betting lines here. Let's see. We'll have the Saints line here down at the bottom. Let's go over some of these other betting results here. The Steelers beat the Falcons and covered. Had some controversial calls or something I was here and didn't see that game, but heard someone saying, the Falcons got hosed, blah, blah, blah. But I watched the highlights. Mariota threw a greasy interception there at the end. Ugly-ass pick to end that game. I don't know where he was throwing that. I know it was desperation mode. They were down, buried way deep, basically in their own end zone. So it's kind of hard for him to really do a whole lot. But to throw that ugly of a pick, Lord, it has some people thinking maybe Desmond Ridder will get the start moving forward because they're on bye week. They're going to have a bye week and then come back against the Saints in week 15. But I read a later report that says as long as they're still in playoff contention, they're going to keep Mariota. So hopefully they fall out of playoff contention because, man, I want to see what Ritter can do. I want to see what he can do. We know what Mariota is. I want to see what Desmond Ritter can do. I think he's got some potential. And the Steelers, making progress with Kenny Pickett. I think they're building something over there. Coach T, he's got a lot of years in him. I think they're going to build it back up with Kenny Pickett. But, I mean, that division really tough with Cincinnati and Baltimore, though. Speaking of Baltimore, though, that was ugly. Yeah, they won, but they did not cover. They were playing Denver, and Broncos covered that. It was just a disgusting, low-scoring game. I had said to smash the under on that, and that hit easily. It was 10-9. The over-under was like 40. So that was some easy money there. We try to put more on it, but that was one of those ones to where I was like, there is no possible way this goes over. These offenses suck right now. I mean, obviously Lamar Jackson getting hurt pretty much sealed it, but even with Lamar, there's no way because Denver's offense is so bad. But yeah, I wasn't touching the spread, but the under to me was the play there. And it hit. Then speaking of the Bengals, that was the game of the week, man. Them and the Chiefs. I saw that one. That was back and forth. Bengals got the win and, of course, covered as underdogs. So for those that took their money line, that was the play. They owed, man, it's just Burrow owes Mahomes, bro. That's the reality, man. Burrow 3-0 against the Chiefs since 2022, because I believe that end of the season game, it was like week 17 in January last year, and then the playoff win in the AFC Championship, and now this one. So Joe Cool, man, he made that clutch throw there to seal the deal. A lot of quarterbacks, man, they want to do that, but not many actually can execute it, and he did. He does have a couple of elite weapons there, and Chase and Higgins that make his life a lot easier, but got to be able to make those throws, and he did. And so that's the reason why they're an elite offense. And you have an elite quarterback and elite weapons, life tends to be pretty good. So, and also their defense, man, they're able to contain the Chiefs. They contain Mahomes, contain Kelsey. I mean, they didn't totally shut them down, but contained them enough to get the dub. And then the Raiders, I was kind of surprised at that line movement. The line kept moving more and more toward the Raiders. It must have been a lot of sharp money coming in on them, and a lot of times that sharp money's right, and it hit there. Raiders got the dub over the Chargers with a huge performance from Devontae Adams, which we'll get to later when we talk fantasy. So you finished going over these lines. The Packers covered. Packers covered -4.5. I'll have to take a drink to that one because I was nervous about that. Oh, I was nervous about that one, man. Justin Fields got off to the hot start, thinking the Bears might win that thing. But Aaron Rodgers was able to pull through at the end and continue his ownership of the Bears. He's like, I own you. I still own you. And he still does. Even at almost 40 years old, still owns the fucking Bears. So Packers got it done. Probably not going to mean anything as far as the playoffs. But, oh, yes, sir. Probably not going to mean anything as far as the playoffs, but still nice to see him cover. Let's see. Oh, yeah, and the Lions, man. The NFC North, actually, the Lions covered against the Jags and won outright. Feeling like that Detroit, well, they're not a playoff team. They're on the cusp. They're on the come up. Dan Campbell definitely has saved his job over there. DeAndre Swift more in the mix. That was good to see for our DeAndre Swift shares. And as far as the Jags, man, the Jags, man, they're a team that you always think they're so close. Trevor Lawrence, they've got so much potential, man. They've got so much young talent. Doug Peterson, he's better than Herb. They're going to turn it around, but then they lose to the fucking Lions, man. You beat the Ravens, make this great comeback, make people think you're turning it around, and then you just completely crap the bed. And then, yeah, shout out to our Twitch commenter. He said, go Amon-Ra St. Brown. Yeah, man, Amon-Ra killed it. Him and Devontae Adams, I believe, had the most fantasy points out of anybody. So, yeah, Amon-Ra, man. Amon-Ra, there is no debate anymore. That dude's a WR1, locked and loaded. I mean, he's just every week, he's so consistent. Him and Jared Goff have it down. I mean, Jared Goff, you can say what you want about him. He's not that good, but he's good enough to support weapons. And as we saw with the Rams, I mean, Cooper Kupp and Robert Woods were very productive under Jared Goff. And the Amon-Ra's kept that trend going. It goes to show that non-elite quarterbacks can be friendly for fantasy. I mean, look at Corky Kirk Cousins with Justin Jefferson. I mean, let's see, get that next QB and he leads around the corner. Yeah, fucking right. I mean, Detroit is there. Like I said, they're on the cusp. They're on the cusp. I know it's Detroit. They're one of those franchises that you always hope for them and they never do it, but they're actually pretty strong up front. They can run the football. Gotta get better on defense, but they should be able to make more reinforcements this offseason. They definitely have pieces. They're in better shape than Jacksonville. Yeah, Jacksonville's got the quarterback, but the team around Trevor Lawrence is just still not even close to being a contender. And there was some news they said about, injured toe for Trevor Lawrence. He is listed as questionable right now with a toe injury. That's a developing story. Don't think it'll be anything, but man, if he ends up out, man, that Jacksonville's gonna really go to shit. But let's see. Oh, and then we had the Kiss Your Sister special, the tie Giants Commanders. But for betting purposes, the Giants covered. So for those that bet the Giants, I was kind of leaning the Giants because I thought that was a coin flip game, and sure enough, it ended up dead even. But I was thinking the Giants there. If you're giving me points with the Giants, I'll take them, and they covered. Nearly won. Graham Gano almost made the game-winning field goal. Came so close, but not quite enough. And then the Browns covered in an ugly win over the Texans. I mean, they covered 70. They made us to play pretty good, but no, Deshaun Watson, he looked rough, man. He looked like he needed a massage because he did not look comfortable at all. He looked like he was rusty. But I mean, that's kind of what we expected, though. I mean, I'm viewing these next few weeks for him as like preseason. I mean, they don't really have a chance to make the playoffs. I mean, he hadn't played in over a year, so realistically speaking, I mean, you can't really expect much out of him. But I think next season, though, once he gets back acclimated to the NFL, they could be dangerous. So everyone's making fun of Watson right now, but cloud him all you want. He's an elite talent when he's right. So I wouldn't say he's cooked just yet, but let's see. The Vikings covered over the Jets. Mike White, man, the great white hope. He's going to get another start this week. And, he put up a fight there against Minnesota. Figured that would be kind of a back and forth game. And that was one the over hit. I was on the over there, which worked out. I think it was like 45, and the total ended up well over that. So good to see Minnesota, though, at least get that dub, because it was like, man, it wasn't really ever in doubt per se. But I mean, Mike White, man, he kept going. Garrett Wilson, give me money. What a performance. Another big wide receiver outing. A lot of receivers turned up this week. And the Eagles big win over the Titans, covered that with ease. Wasn't really on that. I was kind of thinking maybe the Titans. I stayed away from it. Glad I did. Philly, they're by far the NFC favorites, because now we've got the 49ers, who are without a quarterback, unless you've been Brock Purdy. Brock Purdy had a great performance in the win over Miami. They covered the 4.5 with ease. I mean, CMC, though, put the offense on his back down the stretch, man. What a performance. That was vintage CMC there. Nice to see that. Kind of concerned, he had a banged up knee heading into the week, but he left nothing. That line's got to change. Which one? The Saints line, Tino? Which one? The 49ers line was, they didn't know Jimmy was going to get hurt during the game, but even with that, they still covered it. Then the Rams covered against Seattle. How did that game go? I forgot. I think Seattle won, but it was like real close. Yeah, 27-23, Seattle won. Okay, so the Rams won. Niners won. Yeah, it was I think it ended. That was what it closed at, was 4.5. I'm pretty sure that was or maybe 5. I forgot what. I think it was 4.5 though. I'm pretty sure. It was 4.5, and they covered that. But yeah, Rams covered against Seattle, and then we talked about this one. But yeah, let's talk about that ass whooping from last night. Shout out to AJ and all of Uncle Jerry's kids. Cowboys -11 over the Colts. That was one I got wrong. I was thinking, man, Colts are going to cover that. That's a lot of points. It was looking good early, they were keeping up, but man, I left, I didn't see the whole thing. I was like, it's kind of trending toward Dallas winning. Hopefully the Colts cover. I'll just keep up with it. I had an event to go to last night. Shout out to Channel 5 Live. Went out to that there in NOLA. But as soon as I checked the score again, it was like 50-something. I don't know how much the Colts have. I was like, geez. I was like, damn, that was crazy. And yeah, I was looking at last week. Yeah, just kind of recapping last week. Yeah. Yeah, but yeah, that was just like, it's an ass whooping, man. Amazing that the Colts just self-destructed. That's kind of what it was, really. They just Matt Ryan, bro. He ain't it. The Colts are a team. They're gonna have to just blow it up, go nuclear, they've got to draft a quarterback, man. You got to draft somebody, and the issue is that they probably won't be high enough to get Stroud or Young, but man, they might have to just bite the bullet and trade up with like the Bears or something, give up a bunch of picks to go up and get that second spot, because the Texans are locked in at 1. They're taking Bryce Young. I think number 2, if it's the Bears, they're going to put that pick on the block and see who's going to give them a king's ransom as far as moving up to get CJ Stroud. But yeah, Dallas though, man, after last night, Dallas, I know the Colts aren't good, but Dallas is showing that they, I don't want to go as far as say they're not going to the Super Bowl, I don't think, but I think they're a contender. They're a serious contender, but they always seem to find a way to screw it up. But I'm sure AJ will have more on that tomorrow on Uncle Jerry's kids. But yeah, I just can't buy them though. I can't. I still, even with the quarterback situation, I still think the 49ers are number 2. And Will Levis, yeah. No, I don't have much love for Willie Levis. I really don't think the Kentucky kid. No, I don't think he's. I'm sure he'll get picked in the first round, but I don't really buy him for the NFL. But we'll see. There's other guys that I didn't buy that have panned out. So let's see. Yeah, he did. He looked horrible. He looked tense. Man. He just. Yeah, but when he hadn't played in over a year, what do you expect? And let's see. Tanner McKee, Stanford. Dude's got to be smart. Yeah, look at the Judge Davis Mills, although that hadn't worked out too well. And then Andrew Luck was working out before he retired young. Definitely don't think the Colts are going to take another Stanford QB after the way Andrew Luck did them. But let's see what else we got here. Yeah, let's move on to fantasy, y'all. We went over all the betting lines. Well, we got some early lines I know that have come up. Let's see next week. So I'm going to go through them real quick on my phone, see if anything catches my eye here. Saints line still chilling at 3 on the app. Let's see. We got Thursday Night Football, Raiders, Rams. Raiders 6-point road favorites. Jeez, man. I'm kind of tempted to take the points with LA. Jeez, look at this one, y'all. Oh, my God. Cowboys, Texans. 17 points, 17, and I'm not betting on this, Chris. If I had to pick it, I'd probably pick the Saints, but yeah, I'm not touching it. I've learned that Saints, man, they don't tend to be bettors friends or fans friends. We love our team, but we're prepared for heartbreak. And the Niners line. Let's see that Cowboys Texans. I know 17 Cowboys getting favored by 17 at Jerry World. Holy hell. Niners line is they haven't posted it out actually, Tino. I think the reason that's a line they haven't posted because of the uncertainty at quarterback. Also the fact that they play Tampa and Tampa hadn't played yet this week. So that line should be up tomorrow. Well, I'm sure Huss and Bogey will keep you up to date with that. And then AJ, I might make an appearance on the Uncle Jerry show, and I'll make sure to let y'all know what it is then. Then Eagles 7-point road favorites over the Giants. Titans 3.5-point home favorites over the Jags. Bengals 6-point home favorites over the Browns. Bills 9.5-point home favorites over the Jets. Man, that's a lot of points. Lions 1-point favorites over Minnesota at home. Oh my gosh. That line has trap written all over it. I'd love to be like, oh yeah, bet Minnesota. It's a sure thing. But that's one of those ones I feel like the odds makers might know something that we don't, because that line just seems fishy. Here's another weird one. I know Lamar Jackson's probably out, but Steelers -3 at home against Baltimore. Man, a lot of strange lines. Chiefs only getting 9 on the road against Denver, -9. I was thinking they might be favored by more than that, but probably going to be a low-scoring game. Denver's defense is really good. Seahawks 3.5-point home favorites over Carolina. Dolphins 3-point road favorites over the Chargers. And then Monday Night Football next week, Patriots 1-point road favorites over the Cardinals. And yeah, what side are you thinking, man? I could give you an early estimate. I'm thinking that the line will be at, I still think the 49ers will be favored. I'm thinking it'll probably be like 2 points in their favor. But that's just my best guess. Let's move on to fantasy here before we close out. Davante Adams, our fantasy MVP, nearly 40 points. Nice to see him ball out. Other noteworthy performers, Amon-Ra St. Brown really turned up, man. You know, over 30, had a 34.6. A.J. Brown also over 30 in a revenge game against the Titans, his former team. Tyreek Hill turned up with nearly 30. Tyler Lockett and DK Metcalf with big days, both going over the 25-point threshold. Scary Terry McLaurin shook back with a big day. Christian Watson, once again, a multi-touchdown performance. Man, this kid has flipped a switch, man, with Christian Watson. Ever since week 10 against Dallas, he has been basically the new Davante Adams over there in Green Bay. Great to see it. Garrett Wilson, of course, we talked about him, a great performance. Stephon Diggs doing his thing. Devontae Smith turned up as well against that leaky Titan secondary. And then Keenan Allen, a nice day. CeeDee Lamb, Justin Jefferson, a lot of the usual suspects up at the top there. Running backs, CMC was the top scorer in running back. Tony Pasta, forget about it, not far behind him. Samaje Perine had to fill in for Mixon again and turned up. And then DeAndre Swift, man, what a just unexpected turn of events there. And Tina's hoping I can catch the Niners -1. Yeah, you might. Just shop around. Just shop around. They got different books. So, yeah, just shop around. You might be able to find a -1 somewhere. But yeah, DeAndre Swift. Now, back as the primary running back, it seems. Although Jamal Williams, once again, another rushing touchdown. That is now 4 straight weeks of him scoring a rushing TD. So nice to see Jamali Mall at least still eating, but it's a 2-back system. 2-back system to where I'd say both are back fantasy relevant again. But I would lean Swift now. I mean, because Jamali Mall doesn't catch passes, Swift's got their receiving floor. And Josh Jacobs turned up again. We were worried about Josh Jacobs coming off that huge performance against Seattle. No concern. He just 144 yards, no problem. Incredible, man. Once again, listed as questionable, but not worried about that. A.J. Dillon turning up again. Good to see A.J. Dillon. I think Dillon's turning a corner as well. They're on bye this week, but I think he could be one of those fantasy playoff darlings like he talked about the other night on Playmakers. And then Zonovan Knight filling in for Michael Carter doing his thing. And then Cam Akers, Killer Cam, back as the Rams primary back. James Cook, another one that's on the right path, trending up. James Cook saw the most touches in the Bills backfield. And then Isaiah Pacheco also trending up. Good to see these young backs get in the mix. The rookies there. The QBs, Jalen Hurts and Joe Burrow take the cake by far. The top 2 QBs with over 30 each. And Hustler Leagues probably got well over 50. Then Geno Smith, a nice day. Shook back. Jared Goff was solid. Mahomes, even in a kind of down day for his standards, still the QB5. And Justin Fields was back, did pretty well. Despite the 2 picks. Justin Herbert, it's not a good week for quarterbacks. Great White Hope, still a QB1, man. And Great White Hope, check this out. Back as the starter. Rob Saleh named Great White Hope as the starter for the Bills game. Bad news is last year the Bills were the team that basically just completely ended any hope of White Mike being a permanent starter. But this is his second chance. Maybe he'll respond in his second chance. So let's take a drink to the Great White Hope himself. Oh, man. Yeah, I've been talking so much. You'll have a lot of beer left. I was hoping Bogey would pull up, or some of the playmakers extended out the invite, but I think they were all busy tonight. But yeah, it was Great White Hope, man. Keep riding the wave, even against Buffalo. I'd keep riding the wave, man. Great White Hope, give me money. And they had a tight end position. That was the last one to go over. We got to have an IDP section here soon, but Greg Dulcich, the top scoring tight end, not a whole lot to talk about. A lot of bleh performances there. So, yeah, let's move on to the news here. Looking ahead to next week. And, yeah, most definitely the Great White Hope. Great White Hope. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Lamar Jackson, though, let's get to the bad news here. Lamar Jackson, knee injury, week to week. Most likely will not go this week, as evidenced by the fact that the Steelers are favored over the Ravens. Kenny Pickett getting the start, obviously, and so where they are at home, that could be a game to where the Steelers steal it, with Tyler Huntley having to play for Baltimore. But Lamar Jackson likely out. Should be back, though, at some point. But for fantasy, this is a killer, because remember what happened last year with the Ravens. It was Mark Andrews benefited from Huntley. So as far as Mark Andrews, this might be a blessing in disguise. But as far as the rest of the offense, I don't know. What did Andrews do last week? I don't even see his name. Let's see. Did I miss him? Okay, 4 for 53. All right. So, yeah, he might do better at home. I don't know. He's been kind of a disappointment. Let's see. But yeah, Lamar week to week. And then Bogey, if you're available, we're about to get into this Niner talk. Jimmy G out for the season. Obviously, a tough break for the Niners, but they saw Brock Purdy, Mr. Irrelevant, step in and lead them to the victory. But immediately after the game, they went ahead and signed the veteran journeyman Josh Johnson, arguably the most traveled journeyman in the entire league. I mean, because he not only just traveled throughout the NFL, he's played in all these other, like the XFL, the AAF. He was in all that shit. He has traveled everywhere. He is just he's a true journeyman. He is, when you look up journeyman in the fucking dictionary, his name comes up. He's top Fitzmagic, I'd say, as I get talking as far as the biggest journeyman. But now the question is, because I'm sure most of y'all heard, Baker Mayfield waived today by the Carolina Panthers, asked for his release and got it. No surprise there. I don't think they wanted him. He didn't want to be there. So mutually agreed to part ways. Sam Darnold, safe space Sam, as we like to call him now, the starter in Carolina. PJ Walker, the backup. So it makes sense to just move on from Baker. But now the question is, where does Baker go? And I wouldn't think anyone would claim him on waivers, except maybe the 49ers. Maybe the 49ers. And if they do, where does he slot in? Does he start? Is he just a backup? Or should they even mess with him? I honestly don't feel like they should mess with him. Although Bogey, we were texting about it earlier, thinks he might be okay as the backup. And maybe he would be, because with the Niners, it'd be a winning culture. It's easier to behave with a winning culture. I mean, hell, in the Bucks, they were able to have AB's crazy ass. And when do the waivers go through? That's a good question, Marty. I think tomorrow. Let me see. NFL waiver process. Let's see. Any player, let's do waivers. I'm trying to see the exact. Oh, 24 hours. Okay. Okay. So it should be, if they released him this morning, then we should have word on it tomorrow. And what if a team like Seattle takes him to block San Francisco from getting him? Yeah, that's a good point. Someone could try to block him if they really feel like Baker would be an upgrade, which, I mean, on paper he would be, but just the way he's performed this year and in his attitude, I don't think he'd be much of an upgrade, if any. So we'll see. I mean, it could happen, though. That's a good point. They could block him. They could block him and be like, all right, bet, y'all ain't getting him. You know, we're going to basically just be like, we're holding y'all hostage, you know. And yeah, even like the Rams. Well, I don't think the Rams would do it. They're out of it, and the Cardinals. But yeah, the Seahawks, being that they're in the playoff contender, they might do it. But I mean, they've already got Drew Lock as their backup. Even I don't see much of a difference between Drew Lock and Baker Mayfield. So I'll say I kind of think he clears waivers. He at least has playoff experience. A cup of coffee. I mean, nothing significant to where I don't think he gets claimed. Maybe I'll be wrong, but I don't think he gets claimed. I think he just clears waivers, and then at that point, the Niners might just be like, all right, we'll bring him in for a workout, and if he looks good, we will sign him to the practice squad or whatever. But I don't see him. Excuse me, I don't see him getting claimed. I really don't. Why would anyone want Baker Mayfield? I mean, Baker Mayfield has been just god awful this year. He has hurt his team. With Carolina, I mean, Sam Darnold, safe space Sam looked much better. I mean, even PJ Walker has shown more flashes this year than Baker Mayfield. I know when he was in Cleveland, when things were going well, he was looking promising. He looked much better than he had this year, but I don't see him being worth being claimed, because then I don't think it's that much salary, but you'd have to eat at least a few million, I think, to claim him. And I really don't see anybody being willing to do that. I think they just let him go through waivers unclaimed. But we shall see tomorrow what goes down with all of that. And so we're getting toward the end, so I guess I'll just give y'all my Saints pick if I didn't type it in the thing, but let's see. Oh yeah, I do have it. Okay, here we go, y'all. So I'm gonna set the stage a little bit. I'm gonna do a game script prediction. You know, me and Bogey and all his fantasy analysts like to do game scripts, to kind of predict how things go. So this is how I'm thinking it goes. All right, so I think it starts off, Saints get off to a promising start. I think they score a touchdown within the first, in the first quarter. I think they get off to a pretty promising start. Andy Dalton shakes the jitters. Primetime Andy gets him a tug to, I'm going to say Adam Troutman. I'm on the Troutman train right now. Adam Troutman, first touchdown, Saints looking good. Or Taysom Hill. Maybe Taysom Hill will run it in. Feel like one of those two get it in. So Saints take a 7-0 lead. Then I think next drive, Bucks counter back, get a field goal. And then I think it's just going to be kind of a field goal fest from there. I think both defenses will be on to each other, and then it'll just be kind of, back and forth, just kind of drive down, stall out, kind of ugly. And then I think, though, this is what will happen in the fourth quarter. And, I'm not being biased here. I mean, this is just how I feel. I hope I'm wrong, but I'm thinking it's just going to be one of those classic Brady drives to where, the Saints are winning. I think they'll be up like 16-10 at this point. And then Brady will probably pull off one of his fourth quarter drives. The Saints defense have done a great job of sacking Brady the whole game, been turning up, doing their thing. And then boom, they'll play that stupid prevent defense to where Brady's just going to eat them alive, carve them up, and drive down, get the touchdown. Bucks win 17-16, which is what I'm going with for the final score prediction. If this hits, though, the Saints would cover the spread. So I'm thinking Saints cover, but Bucks win. So for us bettors, that's good. But for us Saints enthusiasts, it's not, because then you're your season's over basically, but in a way, be kind of a blessing because rooting for this team and thinking trying to root them onto the playoffs has been excruciating to say the least. Or then if the last few games are just basically vacation games, just exhibition games, it'll just be more like just evaluating talent. It won't be the stress of, oh, we've got to win. But hopefully they pull it off. Hopefully I'm wrong because it's always more fun to talk about the team when they have a chance to contend for something. So even if it's just a kind of fraudulent division title, if whoever wins the division is probably going to have a losing record, which is kind of lame, but that's the rules, man. I mean, if you can get a playoff spot, I mean, don't feel bad. I mean, the NFL is an unforgiving league. The Saints have had, believe me, their fair share of bullshit. So if you can steal a division title, would not feel guilty about it one bit. But that's been Brady though his whole career, man. Maybe just maybe the tides will turn. Maybe Brady's gonna have to pay the piper tonight, and he'll have the bad luck. Maybe the Saints will just get all the breaks and pull it off. We'll see. We'll see. And Huss just pulled up. Shout out to the Guru Nation. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. But what do y'all think? Drop y'all's predictions down in the comments. Saints Bucks. What y'all thinking? Betting or final score, whatever y'all think's gonna happen tonight. Let me know. Let me know. Think I'm being too negative? Y'all think the Saints win? Or do y'all think I'm being too nice? Do y'all think the Bucks blow the Saints out? I mean, we never know what can happen, but that's why they play the game, right? We'll see how it ends up. It'll be interesting. But to go over, for those tuning in late, here's the money line. Money line minus 178. For those that think the Bucks will win, plus 150 for those that think the Saints will win. And then the over 40.5. So if they score 41 or more points, the over hits. If they score 40 or less points, the under hits. Marshawn Lattimore and Pete Werner ruled out. Let's check the Bucks injury report. Make sure they did. I mean, we knew Tristan Wirfs was out. Let's see if they have anything. But yeah, those were the significant Saints injuries. Let's see. Oh, I think Russell Gage out again. No surprise there. Oh, it says it. Where's their injury report? Come on, man. I bet y'all trying to pull up their injury report. I don't know. I'm sure there's something significant that we would know. And if y'all know anything, comment below. I don't think there's anything. And Song, what up, Song? He wants to know, is Jameis Winston playing? No, he's not. It's gonna be Andy Dalton again, unfortunately. Oh man, if it wasn't for that, man, if they'd have said we're playing Jameis, I'd have picked the Saints to win. I'd be so fired up. I'd be like, Jameis gonna win, revenge narrative. He's gonna get the dub, but I mean, it's just no life in the Saints team with Andy Dalton. It's just, I don't see it. Oh, Crispy's picking the Saints. Okay. I'm thinking we'll see a lot of Taysom tonight. I don't think we'll see any Jameis, but I think we'll see a lot of Taysom. I think we'll see more Taysom than usual. I think that's what's good. That could be the deciding factor. If Taysom can get loose, get involved as a receiver too, maybe throw a few passes, do more than just run, I think that could be the difference, man. Taysom Hill's a true X factor when he's utilized properly. And in the prop plays, I like Tom Brady's under, Adam Troutman's over. Oh, yeah, speaking of Taysom, his over on rushing yards, probably a pretty good play. Marty saying Saints 13, Bucks 13. Man, that'd be hilarious. But 2 ties in 1 week. Hey, it might happen. I mean, these division games are ugly. I mean, it would not shock me. It would surprise me, but it would not shock me. I've seen crazier stuff. That'd be so fitting, though, to have this shit end in a tie. I would laugh. I would just laugh. Olave is going to eat because I think the top 2 safeties are out, Antoine and that other dude. Oh, okay, let's see. Excuse me, Antoine Winfield. Is he out? Man, freaking dude, making a burp. Let's see. Or hiccup. Let's see. Yeah, Winfield is out. Yep, Winfield's out. Glad you mentioned that song because that was an injury that kind of fell through the cracks, I think. Yeah, I didn't realize he was out. Let's see, who else? Mike Edwards, I think, is their other safety. And yeah, he's out too. So yeah, Olave should eat. Yeah. And Troutman I keep talking about Troutman, that prop, man, or as we need him as a streamer, DFS play for those that like to do the Monday night DFS shit. I think he's definitely the best tight end to play tonight. But Logan Ryan coming back. Okay, I should give him a little reinforcement there. Although Ryan's pretty old, though. I don't think he's what he once was, but we shall see. But oh well, I think we're up against the clock here. So that's gonna do it for the Guru Nation Power Hour. Let's take one more drink before we go. Woo! Man, that was we got a little more. I might as well just finish this shit. Let's go. Whew. All right, down the hatch. There we go. So appreciate everyone that tuned in. It was really fun. I'll make sure to catch Huss and Bogey on the next one for the Saints Bucks Monday night watch party. And I might have to pull up, man. If that game gets crazy, I might have to pull up and chop it up with the gang. So appreciate everyone that tuned in. Y'all be safe and have a good time, man. Drink it up, smoke it up, and we'll see y'all. See y'all in the next one, man. Guru Nation Power Hour. We out. Peace.